Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So we're going to do our weekend review. We're not going to talk about the handicap marks, although they're out. That'll be its own separate video. But just a few things that I wanted to highlight from the races over the weekend. We'll start off with this beginner's chase, which Pembroke won, with the other three all pulling up. Now, the results over the weekend at Sandown and Aintree and Chepstow have to be taken with a pinch of salt because the ground was ridiculous. It was so heavy that you'll find that even horses that act on soft ground didn't like this heavy going. And you'll just find that some were able to get through it and win, whereas there was a few that really hated it and couldn't even get through couldn't get through the heavy ground. And so I just think you have to be wary of some of the results and also give chances to some of those in behind who, you know, are surely going to be better next time on better going. So the first race, the beginner's chase, won by Pembroke, basically was the only one who was able to jump round. He's actually won 2 races now over fences, and he's won a walkover, and he's won this race, which had turned into a walkover after the horses behind just couldn't, they couldn't get out of the ground. Golden Sun, really disappointing, but clearly doesn't want this heavy going. When he's back on better going, even soft, I think he'll be much, much better. So he's one to give a chance to, somewhere else. Pembroke, he's won 2 races now. This is actually his trip that he wants. But I'm hoping they can find a handicap with him soon. Similar story for the 130. Now, I know Richmond Lake was well fancied. I think you'll find he just acted on the going better than the others. Heltenham, I think, hated the ground. He didn't look like... look at how many pulled up. Other than the front 3, the rest of them all pulled up. You can forgive any horse that looked like they were struggling. Heltenham looked like he was struggling from an early stage. I think we'll find he'll go back to Cheltenham next time, possibly for that January New Year's Day handicap chase, where I think he'll bounce back because it surely isn't going to be as heavy. Richmond Lake, he won. He's won 27 grand. He'll go up in the handicap. But he will start to find things tougher, especially when he's back on better going, because he'll start taking on horses that actually want the better going. And Heltenham, I'm definitely not giving up on him. Similarly, Ashdown Lad, again, look at how many didn't get round. All of these didn't get round. Only 5 finished. You really wanted to stay well and get out of that heavy going. Ashdown Lad has always had issues. He's now pulled up on his last 3 runs, so he's going to drop in the handicap. There will be a race for him just when it gets better going. If we actually look at when he won on good to soft at Aintree. This was heavy. This is completely different. So don't give up on Ashdown Lad. Similarly, don't give up on the big breakaway. He doesn't want that type of going. His best run at Chepstow came on soft, not heavy. This was like ridiculously heavy. 240. Don't give up on Max of Stars. On that ground, after running just 8 days ago, probably found her out a little bit. And I think the front 3, they're going to be quite decent, aren't they? Liari, definitely. I think he also got through the ground well. So, again, is he going to be winning a juvenile, the Triumph Hurdle? You'd have to see another run on better going because, again, it's not going to be soft heavy as it was at Cheltenham. Max of Stars, give her let's have a month off now. Find her a juvenile fillies event, and I think she can bounce back. From the Sonagino race, top rated won it. RTR3 was 3rd, Vicky Vale. The eye catcher was Prince Zautar, wasn't he? Came from a mile back. Definitely a handicap in Prince Zautar. I think they've aimed Prince Zautar. I think that was probably the target. It hasn't quite worked, but they'll find another race for Prince Zautar. Voix de Rev, over 2.5 on the ground is too far. Needs to drop back in trip. There is a race back at Newcastle. They didn't run in the Fighting Fifth because they couldn't get in. But there is a race granted that there was then run at Sandown. There is a race at Newcastle in a few weeks that hopefully Voix de Rev can bounce back in. He will drop in the handicap. Going to Sandown, what a ridiculous Fighting Fifth. Not so sleepy winning it. Just shows how poor Goshen is. How much maybe Love Envoy has been overrated. And similarly, you wear it well. Constitution Hill could have ran here and would have won it on the bridle. Wouldn't have come off the, He's so far clear of these. This was a terrible Grade 1. I know they rescheduled it because it was a Grade 1, but they've got 4 runners. They've got 4 runners, and the outsider, what is he? 11-year-old won it. They shouldn't have rescheduled it. There was no need for it. It was a pointless race. The 150, the Henry VIII Novice Chase, Le Patron held off Colonel Harry, who clearly found things a bit tough early on, ran on strongly. Petit Tonnerre, what was that of a ride? Schooling in public, wasn't it? Come on, BHA, you've got to, clamp down on that. That was ridiculous. Never asked for an effort. Was actually closest at the finish. When he goes 2.5 and in a handicap, Petit Tonnerre is one that you need to be very keen on. Similar story, I kind of want to give one more chance to a horse here, and that is, well, no, not one more chance, but this one definitely gets a few chances. It's Langadan. We know that Langadan's not being aimed at anything this side of Cheltenham, probably. I mean, he was rated 147 there. He won at Cheltenham off 141. He always has terrible form coming into his races after the new year. He ran disappointingly. He'll drop in the handicap. He went off 40-1. He's going to go off 40-1 next time as well for a similar handicap. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 weeks time, and then February, March comes along, and then he starts actually being aimed at races that he can win. He also needs to go up in trip. John Bond beat Edward Stone and Haddad Zezobo and Nube Negra despite the ground. He was clearly the best horse. He is the best horse. He's miles clear of those, but I think he'll get beat by El Fabiolo when they take each other on. 3:35. Beauport travelled beautifully. Just didn't get home over 3.5 on the soft ground. Beaten by a horse who does stay. Has obviously got Welsh national form. Beauport definitely would have won that. Sir Peter O'Sullivan at Newbury. I'm not sure where we go with that one now. I will have to have a look for Beauport. But he's one that I like. Just think that was the wrong race for him. Chepstow, the Coral Welsh National Trial. Major Dundee was not off here. He's one that you can definitely be excited for the Welsh National. I think that was a perfectly satisfactory return. The horse who I kind of want to give a chance to is Chambleu. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous because he's now pulled up. What's he now pulled up? He's now pulled up his last 3. Looks disappointing. Pulled up at Wetherby, pulled up at Cheltenham, pulled up at Chepstow. Is going to drop in the handicap because of it. And also, it was heavy going. He doesn't want heavy going. Look at his previous form. Like, when he was going to win at a Charlie Hall, it was on good to soft. When he was going, he finished second at Aintree on good to soft. He wants good to soft ground. Give him one more chance when he gets good to soft ground. He's going to be well handicapped. And they might even find a lowish class handicap for him. Does he need that far as well? Yeah, I do think he wants 3 mile. Doesn't want any further though, but I still kind of want to give him one more chance. They could be doing the same as they did with Lankadan last year. And the final race I want to quickly talk about was this race at Navan, won by top-rated Jugaro. The R figures were really good. This was a race I was really looking forward to. Very pleased to see that top-rated won it, beating the second horse to finish from the rating. So Milo Lise fell, or unseated, sorry. Butcher Hollow was RTR3, had the form. I mean, you kind of want to put Jesco de Dam in your eye catchers there. Chased home the right 2, beaten by 2 horses that are going to go on to decent things. This one could be a handicapper down the line. So yeah, there's just a few quick thoughts about some of the racing and horses that you kind of need to give chances to, because that ground would have really affected and caused quite a lot to run below par.